Hello everyone, this is Karan Bindra here, Director of the DLF Golf Academy. Welcome you all to the first WGAI-LET Golf Webisode Series 2020. Most of you have been a part of the junior development camps that we hold during the Hero Women's Indian Open, and we are sure that you've had a good experience attending them. We thought that we should maintain some continuity in reaching out to you and getting some of the best players from the LET and from India to speak to you now through a digital platform that we've all become used to in the last few months. Today we have three players, Insi Mehmet, Vani Kapoor, and Gaurika Bishnoi. They'll all be online today to speak to you. Thank you to the players who've taken their time out to speak to all of us, share their experiences. They will also teach you a bit about their golf and fitness routines that we hope will help you as well. It is first my pleasure to introduce Ms. Champika Seal, Secretary General of the Women's Golf Association of India, and I will bring her on in a moment. And also Eva Lotta from the Ladies European Tour, who's the Commercial Manager, Pink Junior Solheim Cup Project Director. So with that, I'd also like to thank the WGI and the LET for organizing this. We at the DLF Golf Academy are delighted to be a partner, and this is where we are streaming for you. Insi is in England at the moment, and she's streaming from her home. Vani Kapoor is stationed in the DLF Golf Academy Trackman studio. She'll be streaming from there. Gaurika Bishnoi is set up in the putting studio and the fitness studio of the DLF Academy as well. So Champika ma'am, over to you first. Let me just bring you on to the big screen and unmute you. Give me just a moment. Are you able to unmute yourself, ma'am?
Have you got that?
Yes, and you're good to go, ma'am.
Very good evening to all of you. All our young potential champions. On behalf of the LET, KNA, WGI, I'd like to welcome you all to the first LET WGI Webisode series. It was quite interesting to find a name for what we were trying to do. This is the first of hopefully 3 in the series, and we hope to get you all engaged and benefit from this program. The WGA, the association with the LET, has been almost for now 13 years. The LET bought the first European Tour championship, the EMAR Masters, to Eagleton in 2007, early December. That was the beginning of WGI's association with the LET. This is an important time. The idea was to give you all a interesting exposure to how the future lies. Just on the 23rd of June, the LET and the LPGA have decided to launch a new tagline called, the tagline reads, "Raise Our Game," and raise our game, and a new logo for the joint venture that the LET and the LPGA have decided to join for their future journey. Now, Raise Our Game is specifically for girls, and I'm very happy to tell you that in the last 20 years, that's from the year 2000 to now, there is the growth in girls joining golf is 50% more. And that speaks big volumes of the big efforts that's being created by everybody around. A very important time is that the innovation is the mantra in this pandemic times. I personally believe that no sports person should sit idle thinking about the uncertainty of the times ahead. Being golfers, your passion for golf will bring out your best creativity. My recommendation is sleep with a piece of paper and pen each night. Pen your best dream in golf, get up to write it, and then achieve it and realize it. So these are my some words for all of you. One very important thing that I must share with you is that when you go out to the golf courses, please be very cautious, take precaution, and ensure that those around you also on golf courses comply by wearing masks, make sure the sanitization is great, and you must all be very vigilant and ensure all rules to safeguard the spread of COVID-19. I sincerely hope all of you benefit from this webisode. I look forward to giving back the mic to Karan. I'm most grateful to all of you for having attended. We have a large number of large gathering here. Thank you all, and let's proceed ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for the opening remarks. Now, Eva, I'll bring you up on the screen and over to you in just a moment. There you go.
Okay, very good. Hello, everyone. I'm Eva Lotta, and I work as the commercial manager for the Ladies European Tour. And I have worked on the LET for 18 years. Before that, I played professional golf on the LET. And before that, I played golf and studied 5 years at Oklahoma State University in the United States. I have learned from my golf and from working on the LET and from my life experiences and from being a mother to a 12-year-old girl that life is an amazing journey. I mean, there are ups and downs, but if you are curious and attentive and innovative, like Shampika said, we learn something new every day, and that is a great gift. And today, for example, who would have thought I would sit here with you and listen to your questions you have got to the professionals? And I'm from Sweden, that's far, far away north. And that's another great gift for me to connect with Shampika at the Women's Golf Association of India, and Vivek and Karen at the DLF Golf and Country Club Academy in New Delhi. And also to see Vani, Insi and Gorika here on Zoom and listen to their story. So I'm very, very happy to see all of you here today. It's a difficult time right now. And we are going through daily situations, dealing with a lot of uncertainties. But please, like Shampika said, never stop dreaming of what is important to you and to what you want to achieve. And please don't get angry at yourself when you hit a bad shot. See it more as a learning process and be thankful you hit a bad shot so you know what to practice on. And stay patient and the reward will come to you. And stay connected with all these good people around you because they will help you to raise your game. And having that said, on behalf of the Ladies European Tour, I'd like to present a video that the LET presented this week together with our new brand launch. So please enjoy and good luck to all of you. Thank you, Karen. You don't hear.
Sorry about that. I think the voice wasn't there. Let me just do that again for you. Give me a moment.
It starts with something we can't define. It's a dream. We're too young to know what it is, where it might take us. Our family, coaches, friends, they know. On cold winter mornings and warm summer nights, they help us shape it into something we believe in. Sometimes we lose it. Sometimes we stop believing. Sometimes we wonder if it's all really worth it. But we don't stop. Because in every new city that embraces us, and every new partner who invests in us, on every Monday that promises, and every Thursday that threatens to take away, we have a chance to find it again, a chance to believe again, a chance to make each moment our own. But it's yours too, because you're there by our side, guiding the way. You helped create it. So it's time to believe in all of our dreams. Together, let's raise our game.
Eva, thank you for that video. I hope everybody enjoyed it.
Yeah, thank you for showing it. It gives me the goosebumps every time I look at it. It's such a strong statement. And thank you so much and good luck to everyone. And over to you, Karen.
Thank you. So what I'm going to do is introduce the players to you now. Insi, Vani, and Gorika, I'm going to unmute the three of you. And so Insi, you're unmute now, and yep. Gorika. Gorika's unmuted, and Vani. Okay, so yep. Three of you are on, and I just remind everybody else, if you want to put yourself on speaker view, so whoever is speaking can actually, you can actually see them, whoever is speaking at that moment. Insi, thank you for joining us. Everyone, Insi Mehmet is from England, a professional player and a member of the LET now for 4 seasons. She has played amateur golf for England national golf team. In her spare time, she spends a lot of time doing charity work, playing with her dog, playing the piano, also playing the guitar, violin, and the drums. So Insi, welcome to the program.
Thank you. So I just jump straight in? Introduction?
I'll just introduce Vani and Gorika as well, and I'll come over to you.
Perfect.
Right. Vani, you all know she turned pro in 2012. She has 28 wins under her belt, and best finish is 6th on the LET. Currently #1 on the Hero Women's Professional Golf Tour, the domestic tour. She has also been the #1 3 times before in 2014, 2015, and 2016. Welcome, Vani.
Thank you so much.
And Gorika Bishnoi. Gorika turned pro in 2016. She has 4 wins to her credit. Her best finish at the Hero Women's Indian Open was tied 13th. She was ranked #1 on the WGAI Order of Merit in 2017 and 19. And she has been a winner of the All India National Amateur Championship in 2015. Welcome, Gorika.
Thank you, sir. Thanks. Hi, everyone.
Right, Insi, we'll start with you. If you'd just like to come in and make a few opening comments. I'm pretty much going to first ask you, all three of you, how have been your last 3 months, given that, you know, the world over and in England and in India, we've been under lockdown with the COVID-19 situation. And how has it been for you last 3 months, and how is it right now?
So I don't know how it's been in India specifically, but in the UK, we had very strict lockdowns for at least 2 months. It's obviously a very surreal experience for us players because we're so used to traveling, we're so used to being away, and to be stuck at home for this long, not even allowed to go exercise more than once a day was, you know, it's very different. We're not used to it, especially as golfers. I think it's made us appreciate the small things that we used to take for granted as well. You know, when the weather's good, you want to go outside, play some golf, socialize. But that being said, I feel very lucky that I've been able to have a good lockdown and have a good experience in total.
Thank you. Vani, what about you? What have you been up to the last few months?
I actually quite enjoyed my lockdown. I was actually looking forward to a break because I'd been traveling too much. And this lockdown really helped me a lot in terms of just refreshing myself, rebooting myself, and getting my goals and my plan of action into place. And also one really important thing that I learned was, because as Insi said, that we travel so much around Europe and different places, we are so used to so many things. So one thing that I learned was just to be content with myself while being at home, and meditation helped me a lot. And yeah, a lot of happiness just staying at home with my parents.
Good stuff. And Gorika, we know you've really worked hard on your fitness all this while, and you try to stay fit and, you know, mentally ready for when it all gets going.
Absolutely. So, I mean, last 3 months have been really difficult for everyone, for the entire nation here. And I've tried to utilize my lockdown as much as I could. You know, with so much traveling, of course, it's hard to stay at home. But then again, I just look at the silver lining of everything, that I'm safe home and I'm with my family. So I'm really grateful for the time that I got to spend with my family. Other than that, I just kind of pursued my hobbies that I always wanted to, and lockdown came as a great opportunity to do that. So, you know, just my hobbies, and also as an ambassador for a foundation, Bhajan Global Impact Foundation. I've been actively working with them during this time in providing relief packages to the needy, because the crisis was really severe in India, and to all the needy. So I've been staying in touch with that aspect of giving back. And all in all, the lockdown has been really constructive for me. Of course, it's tough being competitive golfers, being so used to traveling. But then again, I guess you just got to be grateful for what you have whenever you have it.
Yes, well said. And to all of you again, I mean, now in India, I know Gorika and Vani have been are back on the course and gently going about their practice routines and everything else. Insi, how's it in the UK? Are you back on the golf course? Are you playing again? And what is it like?
The good news is yes. I don't know if you've heard, but the Justin Rose has sponsored a series of events. So originally, Liz Young, who is an LET player from the UK, wanted to organize one tournament. So the traditional throw your money in a pot and we'll all pay for it kind of thing. And then Justin Rose and his wife, Kate, heard about it and was kind enough to sponsor the events. So suddenly we have, instead of one, we have 8 events, all at different venues, some of the best courses in England. American Golf has matched it to show their support. And now we get to compete every single Thursday for 8 weeks. So that's really amazing. It's helped me feel a bit more motivated to practice for something. And it's also helped me with the competitive edge. You know, Thursdays is my new favorite day now. I can't wait to compete and see all the girls again. So that's been a really, really nice touch for us girls in England anyway. I feel really lucky.
That's great. So you had 2 competitions already last couple of weeks. Has your game suffered the last, 60, 70 days of no swinging? And you know, how's it been for you over the last 2 Thursdays?
Yeah, I didn't really know what to expect for my first tournament, but I played with Charlie Hull, who's world number 25 last week, Thursday. So lots of cameras, which I'm not used to, lots of people watching. So I was surprisingly quite nervous for that first tee shot. But like I said, it was great to compete again. My golf game is definitely in the right direction. But I still need a little bit of practice. That competitive reps is exactly what we need.
Great. Gorika, back on the course, a little rusty, or you pretty much back in the rhythm again?
I think I'm just really grateful to be back. Like, I really don't care what the swing looks like right now. I'm honestly just enjoying the game as much as I can. Because, so if anything, those 3 months taught me is that how grateful I am to actually have golf in my life, how much it means to me to have this game. And I think that has really changed my perspective. I started getting a little too intense with the game, maybe loving it less, but these 3 months have absolutely brought that love back. So yeah, well, I'm not really rusty. I'm pretty good because for last 3 months I've been paying a lot of attention to my fitness, so that when it's time for me to bounce back, I'm ready to do that. So that has definitely helped me a lot.
And how about you, Vani?
So my first day at practice was really good, probably for the fact that I just had no expectations from myself. And the swing felt really good. But as and when like I started practicing and became more serious about it in terms of more target orientated practice. So that's where I felt that, yes, I am a little rusty at the moment. But that makes me look forward to becoming a better golfer, a better version to myself. And I'm just really grateful that the golf courses have opened up again in India, and especially with the facility that we have over here at DLF, one of the best in the country. So I really look forward to coming here every day and working hard.
Great. And my next question to the three of you is, what have you missed about golf the most? And what are you looking forward to the most when you get on a flight and start traveling the tours?
I think for me, it's being able to smash my driver as hard as I can. I can't do that at home. I've really missed it. That feeling of striking it out the middle, and that, put that aside. Of course, seeing all the girls traveling, experiencing all the different cultures, experiencing what the tour brings to us and what we get to do is something that I miss so greatly. But yeah, I love competition. I love competition more than practice, if I'm very honest. So that's what I miss.
Gorika and then Vani?
I think I absolutely agree to Insi here. I've missed traveling a lot. I absolutely love traveling to different golf courses, seeing the cultures. And I was supposed to play quite a few events this on the European tour, but unfortunately that didn't work out. But yeah, so I think traveling and competitive golf, that's two things I really miss, because competitive golf is still not back here in India. So definitely missing that.
Vani, what about you?
Same for me. I missed competing, and I think like competition always brings out the better of me, I would say. So competing, yes, traveling to new destinations, and I would like to add another thing, food of different places. That's what I missed.
Well, hopefully everything will be back to normal and all the tours will be up and running soon, so you all can get back to your daily routines and jobs. Just one word before we go on to the demonstrations from all three of you. I know you got all picked up topics to show us. Vani, first you. One word of advice for the juniors who are listening in today, who've also had the same sort of layoff from golf as the three of you have. And given that competitive golf in India is still some time away, what do you advise the juniors who are listening in? How do they stay sharp? How do they stay competitive? How do they stay on top of their games so that when competition does resume, they're all ready and set to go?
So I would say the first point would be acceptance of whatever has happened with this COVID thing, and you probably not getting to practice enough as much as you would like to. Number two is that when you accept things, everything else becomes easier. So you stop having negative emotions or self-doubt and other such factors. And number three would be making the most of what you have at the moment. And one way that you can be at the top of your game, I would suggest, is to have a lot of competitions with your friends, obviously while maintaining social distancing and all the other factors, wearing a mask and other stuff, because I feel competition keeps you on your toes. And just try winning, put yourself under as much pressure as you can. And if you do all these things, I think you'll be just ready to compete when the tour starts.
Great. Insi, what do you think?
I think that's very good advice. I might start taking my own notes as well. I think it's kind of similar. it's two words. You've got responding to something and reacting to something. And obviously after lockdown, you know, we're not able to practice and play as much as normal. You know, I've kind of expected a few bad shots here and there, and I do my best to respond to that rather than react. So for example, you know, if I don't hit a very good chip shot, I won't get too annoyed. I'll just respond and rehearse a few practice swings saying, okay, that's what I should have done better, and then move on. So for me, it's kind of separating response and reaction, I think.
Great, Gorika?
I think, firstly, I'm a big fitness freak, so I'm going to say fitness. I think that's very important, because in these 3 months where, you know, maybe 45 to 60 days where you guys haven't done too much, the chances of injuries rise because your body has completely taken a break from everything. You all are probably giving into your indulgence. You're eating food, and that's perfectly fine again, but you just got to stay in touch with fitness. And secondly, once you get back to the game, I'm sure most of you have by now, at least on the range, please don't be hard on yourself. This lockdown is, I mean, the entire scenario right now is as hard as it can be for everyone. And the last thing you want to do is beat yourself down over anything. Just enjoy the game, enjoy the fact that you're back. And because I think that's exactly what every golfer was craving when the lockdown started, because we all just missed the golf club. And now that we are back on the course, we might be like, oh, I'm not hitting a good shot. I'm not, you know, putting well, hitting well. Maybe just overlook everything for some months, give yourself some time. And like Vani said, acceptance. Accept your bad shots and just don't be hard on yourself. That's like one advice I would give to all the juniors.
I think that's really good advice from the three of you. Thank you for that. And I hope the juniors listening in will heed to some of that, and definitely listening in from experienced players like yourselves, they'll probably know that it's advice coming from the experience of all of you. Okay, so we're going to move to the next part of the segment, which is a demonstration by the three of you. Insi, let's go with you first. And
Okay.
what would you like to, Gorika and Vani, I'm going to leave you on unmute. So if you want to jump in when Insi is demonstrating something, and if you want to ask something, let's make this interactive. I think it'll be a lot of fun to even get the other two players' views on the third player who's demonstrating. So Insi, what are you going to demonstrate, and what do you want to tell us today?
Perfect. So as you can see, I'm at home. I'm sitting down on my sofa. I'm a little bit restricted with what I can do. During lockdown, I did convert my conservatory to my mini workout studio and golf studio, and I was chipping into flower pots. But at the moment, my dining table's in there, and it's so hot in here. It's like a sauna. So I was thinking about what I can do, and I've got my putter with me here. And what I was doing a lot during lockdown was using one of these. I don't know if you can see that, but basically they're called vinyl bumpers. So can you see how they have a bit of a bump? And all you do is I remove two of these stickers and place them on the club face. So I've got one there, one there. And what that helps me practice is center strike. Well, first of all, that can help you with the starting line and pace control once you get on out onto the golf course, but it also helps you with your basics. So at home, I can't practice green reading. I can't really practice my pre-shot routine, but I can practice absolutely nailing down my fundamentals and my setup and stuff like that, and my stroke. So shall I stick this on so you can see?
So I would love to add on to that. That's an amazing drill that you're telling. And I have a great suggestion for the juniors. Now, these little drops might not be available for us. So instead, what you can do is that you can get your rubber bands and tie them around the putter, or you can just put matchsticks. You can glue the matchsticks to your putter, and it would work the same way. So it's a very like a do-it-yourself kind of a drill, and you can do it. It serves the same purpose. You can see that.
Yeah, no, I think that's so true. And you know, I'm using vinyl bumpers. It's a bit fancy, I guess, but you can also use blue tack. You said rubber bands. There's so many different options. So that's a really good drill. And now I'm able to go back onto the golf course. I'm really focusing on my green reading because that's not something I was able to do. But this is such a simple drill, and you can go on the golf course Not in the competition, because that might be cheating, or it might hinder your competition. I don't know. You can definitely go out on the golf course, you know, take this on the putting green and still practice the same thing and translate what you're doing at home outside. So that's what I've been doing. Very simple and so many different ways to go about it.
All right. Incy, anything else? Anything else that you've do it at home, do it yourself sort of things?
Yeah,
that
I mean that's golf specific, right? So, you know, I've always also been massive on my nutrition. It's so easy to, well, I say it's so easy to sit back and watch TV and eat bad food, but I've not had time for that at all. I've been so busy with lots of charities, lots of campaigns and organizations and practice, etc. But I've just been trying to keep a really clean fridge. Personally, I find it really difficult to say no. So if my mum's gone shopping and she's bought loads of cookies, there's crisps, chocolate, if it's there, I find it so hard to not have anything. So I tell my mum, please don't buy anything bad. I want a clean fridge because I want a clean body. And like these girls as well, I'm just trying to prepare myself so that when we do get to compete again on the tour, I'm fit, I'm ready, I'm mentally and physically there. So my kitchen has been spot on. I love cooking. And also, because I've missed traveling so much, I've been trying to bring different cultures into my home. So I'm doing a thing at the moment where I play with this guy once a week, and we don't play for money, but we play for food. So the loser has to cook from a different culture and deliver it to your doorstep. That's the punishment. So I've already been to India. My first meal was korma, chickpea korma, because I'm vegetarian. And then he lost again, so he made me pasta bake. So I went to Italy. And then I lost, and I took him to Singapore, like an Asian fusion salmon teriyaki thing. So I've been bringing culture into my kitchen and trying to eat clean that way too.
That's very nice.
I would actually like to ask Incy a question, if she could talk more about it. Because I follow you on Instagram and I've seen you do a lot of interesting stuff. For example, your trick shots. So if you could say more about that and how many tries did you take? Because those trick shots were insane and they inspired me. I tried, but I think I gave up a little too soon.
You know what? I'm glad you brought that up because I did forget about it. So, you know, lockdown, you can get really bored. So I ordered loads of red cups, you know, those American red cups, and some ping pong balls. And it's so much easier to try and get it into the cup that way. So I was meant to run the London Marathon in April, but because I couldn't, they asked me to get involved with a 2.6 challenge. And one of the challenges was to hole 26 chip shots into the red cups. So if I'm really honest, it did take me about 3 to 4 hours. I'm quite embarrassed by it, but I think it was totally worth it. It was so much fun. And the hardest bit was trying to create a different shot every single time. But there were some really good shots in there, I'll agree.
Yeah, we should actually compile them together and probably we can have a look at it again.
Yeah, do you know what? I'll try and post it on my Instagram today. Just for
everyone
you
go
and
follow and see. You have to see that.
Yeah, yeah, we'll lift that up again.
Why don't you tell everybody what your Insta handle is so that they can all go and follow you now?
It's Incy Golf, very simple, INCIGOLF. But yeah, that was a really tough challenge.
Okay, thanks, Incy. That was nice to hear. Vani, we'll move on to you. What have you got from us from the TrackPan studio? What do you want to show us today?
So I actually have, I would like to share a few of my beliefs that have helped me through my golfing journey, and also a little more on the mental side when it comes to confidence. That's what I would like to talk about. So can I start?
Please, the stage is
okay, perfect. I have a few pointers. So the first most important belief or point for me is, and for everyone I also believe, is that it's having the right foundation. What do I mean by having the right foundation is having the right support system around you. My support system is my golf coach, my mental coach, my parents, and my two best friends. So these people whom you choose are very exclusive, and they play a very important role in your life because they basically are there with you whenever you want them to be. They don't judge you. They answer all your questions. There are times when every athlete goes through a low phase or is low on confidence. They are the ones who pick you up again. So I think choosing the right people to stand by you is very important. Moving forward, I would say having a goal is the most important, because and also writing it down, because I think when you write your goal down, it brings more meaning, more life into your dreams, your goals. Second is, to fulfill those goals, you need to have a plan. And this plan for me is, say, in 1 week's time, I want to reach here. For example, I want to do some technical stuff that I'm working on. I need that to be corrected in 1 week. Then I'll have a 1 month mini goal where I want to be in a certain position. 1 year, I want to be probably ranked #1 in the country, or get my card for playing on the European tour. And the last one would be knowing your why. Why is your goal your goal? Why is it so important? So when you know your why, every time when you've probably had a bad round and you just feel like, oh, I know I don't want to go practice, or I don't want to do this for some time, or if you have any negative thoughts, your why should be so important that it gets you back onto the golf course, and with that positive attitude that you got this and you're going to do this for your why. Um, Moving forward, what I feel is the biggest factor in playing good golf is confidence. It doesn't matter how you're swinging the club. I am sure all of you would have experienced it. Like, you're probably hitting the ball so bad when you go for a tournament, and you still end up going and shooting a good score, and vice versa. When you're playing, um, when you're hitting the ball really well, you don't get in a good score. So I have two rules for myself. One is, your swing does not dictate the way you play. And second is that don't let outside circumstances overpower your mind. So what happens through these two rules is, A, I accept whatever is happening around me, and also my confidence stays with me. No one else has the ability to take that confidence from me. So if someone says something to you, if someone plays a mental game with you, or if you're not hitting the ball well, uh, my confidence is my confidence, and nothing can break it. So there's one question that I often ask myself, which is, how do I build my confidence? Like, what works for me? So I would say that it is the way I practice. So there are two types of practice. One is on-season practice. One is off-season practice. So starting with off-season practice, my off-season practice has a lot of technical stuff. So there's block practice and random practice. And if I had to explain, that would be, block practice is just standing in one place and hitting ball after ball, and you're just working on some technique where you get immediate reference, or what goes wrong, and you can just fix it in the next shot. Whereas random practice is that there's a bit more intensity into that practice. You need to go to your subconscious mind to kind of hit that shot, which is basically target orientated. So in my off season, there's probably 40% of block practice and 60% random practice. And when I come to on-season practice, or probably preparing for tournaments, the ratio changes. So it's probably about 20% block practice, 80% random practice. And it is so important to just practice the way you play. So when we go on the golf course, we probably hit every shot like after 2-3 minutes. And when we're on the range, we just hit like probably one shot takes 10 seconds. So we just need to kind of bridge the gap and practice exactly the way we're going to play on the course. So that would be following your pre-shot routine, choosing a target, playing to different targets all the time. I also have two more questions prepared, so which golfers often face problems with, and I thought it might help you. So one question is that, how do you deal with things when they do not go your way? So if I have to ask myself the same question, how do I deal with things when they do not go my way? I basically go back to my first two rules, which were, my swing does not dictate how I play. It does not dictate what score I'm going to get. And second, my circumstances, outside circumstances, don't overpower my mind. So my mind has to be so powerful that I can convert every challenge into an opportunity and probably surpass it. So number one rule for that is acceptance. Whatever you have, accept it. So for example, if I am playing, it's the first day and I've come to warm up for the tournament and I'm just hitting the ball left and I don't know why am I doing it, but I would suggest not to fight it and not try something new that you haven't done before. If you have a trick, the move sorts it out, you should sort it out that way. I would also play smart. So if you're probably drawing the ball, say about 10 yards, just stand 10 yards right of the flag and take that into consideration. So if you hit a good shot, you're ultimately going to be a little right of the target on the green. So I would just say playing smart is extremely important. And the second question is that I prepared was how to deal with pressure on the course. So this pressure can be probably when you're nervous, first tee nerves or crowd nerves, or when things don't go your way, self-expectations, leaderboard pressure, just bad thoughts coming to your mind. So how do I deal with it? I would say, first, let me get to the bad thoughts part, which is basically, it is very important to give reasons to the bad thoughts that are coming into your mind. So if I'm standing on the ball and I'm like, oh, like my ball's going left, if this ball's going to go left, or don't miss it left, don't do this particular move in the golf swing. You need to ask yourself, why is your brain saying that? You need to completely always ask your brain saying why, and answer all these things. And then in the end, say that, okay, if I do this particular move, I'm going to hit a good shot. So I've got my answer. Or for example, if I say, I've hit this shot before, so I don't know why I'm not going to be able to hit that shot again. This is something that's really going to help you. And also your pre-shot routine is your weapon. It's the most powerful weapon, the most powerful club in your bag. I would say it's like the 15th club. What is a pre-shot routine and how it helps? A pre-shot routine, first I'll say how it helps. It basically gets you so much more focused. It's like, it's your switch on button that, okay, I need to start concentrating now. It also helps in many different ways for different people. So what is my pre-shot routine and what does a pre-shot routine look like? I'll just kind of demonstrate it to you. So I start with standing behind the ball and I take all my decisions, which would be, this is the shot I want to hit. I'm standing behind the ball. I visualize my shot. After that, I go on top of the ball like this. I place my club, align myself, look once, look twice, and then hit. So this is something, whatever your pre-shot routine is, should always stay the same. This is the only thing that you have control over. And whatever you have control over in your golf swing, if you can do it to the best of your ability, that will be great. And all those bad thoughts that come to your mind, expectations and everything else, those all will settle down, because obviously you can't think of two things at the same time. So that was it from my side, and I hope it helps you all.
That was awesome.
Thank you.
I think touching on the pre-shot routine there, when you said you stand behind the ball, you make all the decisions on that side of the line, and then you go into the shot, do your 1-2 hit. It's a bit like if you watch, the tennis, Nadal, he'll bounce the ball 1, 2, 3, throw, go. You'll never see him bounce it 5 times and next time 2 times and another time maybe 3. Actually, no, I'll go bounce it 1 more. It's always the same, isn't it? Every single time. So what you're doing in your practice is identical to what you're doing in the tournament.
Yep. And just in case if your pre-shot routine changes and if you have a doubt, I would suggest that you move out and start all over again. It just takes probably 5-10 seconds extra, but it's worth the shot that you take.
But I think it also helps you clarify. If something doesn't go right, it really helps bring that to life, because if you're doing something different all the time, you might miss it. Does that make sense? So I think that's a really, really great tip.
Thanks, Vani. That was great.
Thank you.
So to all the juniors, while you're listening into the players, if you have any questions that you want us to take at the end of the demonstrations, please put it in the chat box. The chat box is to the bottom of your screen. Just write in your questions there, and we will take your questions as soon as we are done. So on to you, Korika. What do you have in
Right, sir.
store for us, and what would you like to take us through today?
So today, guys, I'll be talking with you about fitness, importance of it, and I'll be sharing some drills with you, putting drills with you that you can do just to get that edge over others. So, okay, so I'll start off with the fitness bit of it first. I'll also be demonstrating some exercises for you guys. So, okay, firstly, now, what are the benefits of fitness? Why is it important for a golfer to be fit? At your age, it's very simple and easy, in fact, to think that, you know, do I have to be fit? Because it looks like a slow sport, but it actually is not, because your golf swing is a very complicated thing, and it's tough to understand for a simple person that what kind of movements are happening in the body when you make a swing. So my first point here is that if you're fit, injury prevention, which is the most important thing for any athlete, will be like, if you're fit, basically you will prevent injuries. Now, how does that happen? When you're fit, your muscles are stronger. As a result, you're putting less pressure on your joints and hence not getting injured. It's quite simple. But again, I'm definitely going to say that it does not mean that as an athlete, you will never get injured. That will happen. But then also, if you're fit, your recovery rate will be faster. So that's my first benefit here. My second point is, what fitness does is that it adds speed and power to the swing. We all have seen Bryson DeChambeau's bulk, how long he's hitting, those monstrous drives. And he's only able to do that because he has added speed and power to his swing. And every golfer, every long hitter has that factor in them. So you create speed and power by being fit and doing exercises that will help you become powerful, and swing specific exercises which will result in more speed. My third point is that now speed is nothing without control. If you have control over your body, you will have control over the ball. This control is developed if you're fit. I know fit is the keyword here. I'll be repeating that. So you can only develop that control when you're fit. And finally, the most important point I feel is that to reduce fatigue on course. You all are juniors right now, amateurs right now, you are aspiring professional golfers. In the long run, you're going to see that you will face all kind of environment conditions. You will be playing in extremely hot and humid weather. You'll be playing in freezing chill and freezing cold weathers. And you'll be playing in windy, rainy conditions. You might have to push a trolley yourself. Now, in such a situation, you want to be ready for it. You don't want to be like, oh, I wasn't fit. I got tired on the course. That's why I couldn't score well. That shouldn't be an excuse. So my point here is that fitness and golf will always go hand in hand. To all the youngsters who are listening to me right now, I would urge you all to please start your fitness immediately. I understand that the youngest person probably who's listening right now is 12, which is the perfect age to start. So, okay, so that's about the benefits of fitness and for a golfer. And I hope I've convinced you guys that, okay, it's time to get fit. So I will now be demonstrating 3 exercises to you guys, and really simple exercises, my favorite go-to exercises, and golf specific exercises. I think that's important. So if you want to, guys, if you want to do it alongside, you can just go next to a wall and I'm going to guide you through it. Okay. All right. So let me just set up this camera. So your first exercise here is that you want to get into like a moderate lunge, a standard lunge position with your left foot forward. Place a ball between the mirror and your left foot. And now you want to rotate to the right. And I'm specifying my like my movements left and right. So try to stay coordinated with that. So now I want to rotate to the right from here. Rotate to the left towards the wall. Full rotation. Palms on the wall. I'm going to pull this down. Contract my back muscles. Push it back up. And rotate to the right. So that's a very simple exercise. What this exercise does is that you are working on lower body stability while creating that difference between your upper body and the lower body, that is the rotation, which is very important for golfers. and it also stretches. It's also great mobility kind of an exercise. So now my second exercise for you guys here, I hope you can see. All right, so I'm just gonna place my right foot on the wall, bend my left knee very little. Now the key here is that your left knee should not move at any cost. You extend your arms, you have a Swiss ball in your hand or even foam roller or anything. You rotate to the right, come back, rotate to the left, come back. Absolutely no rotation is supposed to come from your lower body. Everything will be only and only your upper body moving. All right. So coming to our third exercise here. Now, all these exercises that I'm demonstrating here are great for your glute. They activate your glute muscles. They're creating that rotation and the separation, which is really important in a golfer swing. So now my third exercise for you guys is this one. Okay. So you want to place a Swiss ball around like your mid back. And first, your start off position is you stand tall, move your legs a little forward. Okay, from here you squat down, get into a 90-degree, move to your right, center, left, center, right, center, and left, center. Right, so these were the 3 exercises that I wanted to share with you guys. And again, all these exercises are really easy. You need minimum equipment to get these done. You can do them at home. You can do them while playing. So it's quite easy. All right, so I'm just gonna have a sip of water. It's tough to talk and then I'll be showing you guys some putting drills. Let me just set it up.
It's an amazing facility you've got.
All right. So now here, let me see if you guys can. All right. So I have these two particular drills set up for you guys. So the first one is a block drill. Now, like Vani explained, a block drill is basically something that makes you work on a particular part and helps you develop that muscle memory to the consistency. So the first one is you want to place a ball about 5 feet from the hole, and you want to place 2 tees, which could be about, I'd say 1.5 feet from the ball. Okay. So now these tees, you want it to be as wide as the ball, maybe a little wider, of course, because you want the ball to roll through it easily. To start off with, you can keep the distance wider and eventually get it narrower to challenge yourself. Now, your main aim is to get this ball rolling through those tees as much as you can and as consistently as you can, like one after another and another and another, and you keep going. So now, you can also basically get this drill a little more challenging by pushing the tees towards the hole. What that does is that it requires you to be more consistent, and also the like your chances of error reduces. So that's the first drill here. All right, so I'll show you the second drill. Let me just set it up real quick. Okay, I think this looks good. So if you guys can see here, this is what we call the spiral drill. Now, we understand that no 2 putts will be the same on the course. You'll be getting different lengths, different speeds, and different slopes as well. So this is exactly, this drill caters to everything that I just mentioned. The whole point here is that you want to place a ball which is 1 feet away, then 2, then 3, then 4, then 5, and keep a gap between all those balls, and eventually what you get is a spiral, hence the name spiral drill. So what that does is, it's a random drill. You're shifting. So you have a 1-footer first, then a 2-footer, then a 3-footer, and so on. Now with that, another advantage that comes is that, so of course you're increasing in the length of the putt, and also you will get different speed when you actually putt on a green. There will be slopes to it, so you will be putting right to left, left to right, downhill, uphill, and absolutely everything. So, well, yeah, these were the 2 drills from my end. If you guys have any questions about whatever I just said right now, you can just type it in and we can take that later.
Thanks, Gaurika. That was pretty extensive and good to see
Thank
all
you,
of those fitness routines and also the putting drills. Insi, just from all of this, whatever we speak about and whatever we've seen, golf is not just about the swing, about hitting the ball. It's so much, I mean, especially at an elite level, it is so much about a complete package of practicing, fitness, going to the gym, rehab, off season, on season. I mean, just take us through your thoughts and how do you kind of manage so much, as an athlete?
Yeah, so when I first started playing golf, I would describe myself as a range golfer. I was obsessed with filming my swing, drawing lines on it. At least that was some sort of consistency, but I was obsessed with how it looked. I never went on the golf course until I was maybe about 12 or 13. So most of you guys joining us today are probably younger, so you're ahead of me. But I think I'm still learning to this day. What I try to do is to break the game of golf down, and that's what I call it. I call it the game of golf. So I've got my long game. When we hit balls off the tee, you hit it off a perfect lie every single time. And then my iron play, and then my pitching, and then I break down my putting to pace control, green reading, starting line, short game, add a lot of variation to it. I explore different lies. So now, the last 4 or 5 years is the time I'm really learning the game. And of course, you've got everything off the golf course, how you prepare yourself to help you mentally on the golf course too. So sometimes I'll try and apply as much pressure as possible. I'll try and create scenarios. I'll tell myself, what if this happened? What if I forgot my putter? What if I didn't have enough? You always have to prepare yourself before going into competition. So what else do I do? Sometimes I really like to go on the golf course and play better ball or worse ball. So I've got 2 balls. If I play worse ball, I hit 2 shots, I pick the worst one, hit 2 shots from there, pick the worst one. And it is so hard to get a good score, and it's so hard mentally as well to not crack under the pressure. And again, you can flip that round and try and play better ball, hit a good shot, pick your best one, and try to see how many birdies you can make. So it's a really good kind of a mentally stimulating way to practice, keeps it exciting. You can tell your friends, hey, let's play worse ball today. You don't have to be on the same golf course, and let's see who gets a better score. So you can try and be competitive that way, or you can play it together. So there's so many different ways for you to keep it engaging, keep it exciting, make it a challenge, and also see some good golf in there and good scores too.
That's awesome. We have some good questions coming in from the juniors. Okay, so I'll take the first one, which is for all 3 of you. It's from MS Prashant. Hi, Insi, Vani, and Gaurika. I am 13 years old, and I swing the club at 93 miles per hour and carry 227 yards. When you were 13, what was your swing speed and the driver carry? And what is it now?
Definitely less than you.
Yes, you gone?
At least for me.
Gaurika, we didn't hear that.
Okay.
Oh, I just said definitely less than her, like at least for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Vani, what was yours when you were 13, your swing speed?
I, for some reason, I am not that technical, so I don't really look at numbers and stuff like that. So as long as I see the ball going further and I see improvement visually, not in terms of numbers, I'm happy. So I've never really seen the numbers and all, but definitely less than you for sure.
Okay, so let's rephrase that question. Also, when you guys were 13, all the launch monitor technology wasn't that easily
No.
available. You didn't
Yeah.
read those
Yeah.
numbers. But Vani, how long did you hit it when you were 13? Let's say.
I don't know, probably that was a long time ago, you know.
Yeah.
So I can't
I
really
know,
know.
yeah.
I don't really have, maybe like, if I had to guess, maybe like 200 yards or so. I have no idea. I'm just fluking it.
Incy, did you hit the ball a long way when you were younger?
I did. I have the tendency of falling back. I had very quick hips, very active hands. So I'd almost hit like this massive hook to gain that extra distance. But I think if you look at the golfers these days, you know, let's rewind 5 years ago. I used to be probably one of the longest, you know, hitters on my squad, or maybe early on the tour. Yeah, definitely was one of the longer hitters. But now I feel as though so many younger players are either hitting it just as far, if not further. So it proves how important swing speed is. We've seen how DeChambeau has, you know, created so many more opportunities by cutting corners, by gaining so much distance in such a short period of time. So we can't underestimate the importance of it, but you want to make sure that you're efficient. So one thing that surprised me last week, I mentioned when I play with Charlie Hull, I think she's considered as a longer than average hitter. You know, when I saw videos of her golf swing before playing with her, I thought she was going to smash it 20 yards past me because she looks so quick and so strong. But when we played together, we were pretty much similar. If not, I outdrove her a couple of times. And I don't think my swing speed is anywhere near as quick. My swing speed at the moment is probably 99 or 100 miles an hour. It's not that quick. But it also tells you a lot about how important it is to be efficient. And also it highlights the importance of good timing and hitting it out of the middle of the middle. So I've blagged on for quite a long time there, but yeah.
Great. I will take the next question, and I will. Okay. Mehvi Adil is asking, what is the lowest round of golf that you have ever played? Okay, so let's answer that in two ways. Lowest round you've ever played in practice and lowest round you've ever played in competition.
Yeah,
Shall I go? Yeah, go ahead.
So I think I may have shot, wait a sec, I'm trying to do the maths here. 54. No, I'm joking. I was trying to work out level par on a par 3 course.
Okay, let's take it on a par 70, 71 or 72.
Yeah, no, I think my lowest score, I've got a course record at my home club in London, which is 66 at Royal Mid Surrey. And that was during a club competition. So it's not a 63, but if I can be cheeky, I might count my 54 on a par 3 course.
Okay. Monica, what about you?
5 under.
5 under in competition, practice?
Yeah, a competitive round.
Competitive round. Great.
Yes, sir.
Vani, what's your lowest round?
So it's 6 under in a tournament and 7 under in a practice round.
Okay,
Ooh.
All right, let's look for the next question. How do you spend your free time to help with your golf?
Who's going?
Okay, you go.
I'll go.
Okay, Vani, you go.
So my free time, I will not include golf in it, firstly.
Yeah, absolutely.
It has to be something else because you can't really be thinking golf all the time. At least that's what I feel, because you need to give your mind as much rest as you would want to give your body in terms of the physical activity that you do. And if your mind is tired, you won't be able to make efficient movements of the golf swing and get the most out of your golf swing.
Monica?
I think, like Vani said, your off time is supposed to be absolutely off, no golf at all. But if anything, keeping a little bit of golf still in mind, I like to read some books by Bob Rotella. Really helpful, very simple, and quite effective. But other than that, I would definitely suggest all of you to, in your off times, to please pursue your hobbies. You still are very young, and you don't want to get 100% involved. You want to be 100% committed, but don't take it home with you.
Yeah, that's good advice, Gorika. And Insi?
Yeah.
I think when you're on, you're on. You know, you can give your 100% when you're focused on it, but when you're taking a break, taking a time out, you've got to really learn to switch off. That's something that I'm learning to do, because I'm such an active person, and I'm constantly thinking about something, or, you know, how can I do this better? What am I going to do tomorrow? I actually struggle to switch off. So I find it very difficult to sit on my sofa and watch TV. I get too fidgety. So I'm learning to switch off. But also, when you're on the golf course, it's very hard to switch on for, you know, our rounds can take 5 hours sometimes. So again, practicing switching off on the golf course while you're competing is really important as well. So, you know, I might try and soak up the beautiful scenery. You know, when we get to play at the Evian qualifiers, it's so beautiful there. Eat, joke around, catch up with your fellow peers that you've not seen in a long time. I'm sure I'll be doing that when I get back to playing. So I think learning to switch off and having that free time is really important. That's why I try to play so many instruments, to keep myself busy and bring all the culture into my kitchen to cook up new meals.
Great. I'm going to take the next question, which is coming in from Chahat Alawat. And this probably applies more to Vani and Gorika, but your take, Insi, this is about weather conditions that we all live in. So in such hot summer, what gives the players energy to practice 7-8 hours a day?
Who's going?
Vani.
Like,
Okay.
I would, okay, go ahead.
Okay, cool. So I would just say being smart is really important. So just don't go out there at 12 o'clock in the afternoon and, you know, just get yourself killed, because the more you're out in the sun, your recovery is going to be slower, and it's going to impact your game also. It's going to impact your future also. So how I personally do it is I wake up early in the morning and I'm at the range by say 6 o'clock and probably practice till 10, push it till 10, or if I still have the energy, push it a little more. And then I get the middle part of the day off, where I can probably do my fitness, meditation, and then come back in the evening when the sun's gone down, say 4:30 or so, and practice for another couple of hours. That's the way I do it. So I save myself from the heat. And obviously keeping yourself hydrated is extremely important. Natural stuff like coconut water is what I have, or nimbu pani. Yeah, that's the best for the body.
Gorika, go ahead.
That's exactly what I was going to say, that, you know, in such a weather, you really have to practice smart. Don't just go on the course and be there till 1 o'clock, skip your lunch. Please don't do all of that. Just go early in the morning, wake up early, go early, come back on time, and have some rest, sleep, recover, and go back again in the evening. Just be smart with your practice, because smart practice will be much more effective than just doing quality practice. I understand that every player says that, you know, they practice for 6 hours, 7 hours, but then they're practicing really smart. They kind of convert that 6-7 hours to almost 10 and 12 hours of practice that any other person would do if he wasn't smart. So I really believe in smart practice, quality over quantity any day.
Insi, I'll rephrase that question for you, staying in England. Through the
I know where you're going to
go. I mean, it gets very cold and rainy. And so, you know, there are a lot of days in a year where you probably can't go out and even practice.
Yeah, well, I want to prioritize the importance of managing your time, whether it's hot, cold, rainy, frosty, whatever it is. It's important, you know, to be aware of what the weather's going to be like and manage your time appropriately. But on the flip side, you know, sometimes you can try and use it to your advantage. So, for example, if it's raining heavily outside, sometimes you can create that as an opportunity, right? So I'm going to go out there, practice for 1 hour, whether it's technical or performance-based, Doesn't matter. It's organized, and I'm gonna practice hard so I can play easy. I'm gonna practice. So I know how it feels like when I have my waterproofs on. I know what it feels like when I put my wet glove on. I know what it feels like when I strike a golf ball from a wet club face, from a wet, muddy lie. You know, you can create opportunities from yourself whilst everyone else is staying inside and keeping dry. So I think that's something that I do try to implement a lot. And, you know, flip that. If it's really hot, you know, make sure you're well hydrated, make sure you've had enough sleep, but yeah, maybe try and get out early, manage your time, and practice that way too.
Yeah, time management it is, I guess. Okay, there's another question on swing speed. Alicia wants to know how much is your swing speed, and how much, well, she's also asking how much is it ideally for a 11-year-old, but yeah, let's hear it from you. Vani, what is your swing speed with a driver?
As I said, I don't look at numbers, and after this lockdown, I haven't had a look at it. But I think last that I saw it would be, I guess, 93, 94, if not more, if it's increased, I don't know.
Okay, and see,
I'm about 99, 100, but I struggle to get it over 100, even if I tried, to be honest. When I try to hit a ball, I don't swing 100%, I try to swing 80%. But even if I give 100%, I don't gain that much more speed, which is interesting.
Are you a player who works a lot with numbers?
I've gone through phases of being quite technical, and I would say maybe, yes, to a degree, but I think there's a time and place for everything. So, you know, when you want to get technical and you want to understand your swing path or club face angle, it's important to understand what you're looking at, because sometimes it can be quite overwhelming with a lot of numbers all over the place. So just have a really good understanding on what you're looking for and why you're looking for it, and then work on it that way.
Right, got it.
I think my swing speed would be about 95, 96. But then again, I only like to look at my numbers when I'm making a change, just to be 100% confirmed that the change I'm making is actually working out. So for example, if I'm working on something which will be answered by my loft angle or my attack angle, I would want to be on a TrackMan so I can see if the change is working in the right direction. It kind of just pushes you. You can actually just trust the process 100% when you see the numbers. But I'm not a big fan of numbers otherwise. Like I don't like to be on a TrackMan all the time.
Can I ask a question?
Absolutely.
So Bonnie, you said you don't really look at your numbers and stuff. When I remember playing with you at the qualifier Q school.
Yeah.
And I remember your pitching was so good. So obviously pitching, it's very number specific. How do you practice your pitching, your distance control, if you don't look at numbers? Is it pure feel? Or?
Yeah, it's pure feel. So I have like a few things that I follow. If I had to demonstrate it, is I would say I normally ask myself a question, you know, if I had to hit a ball with a slow rhythm, like my perfect rhythm, which is like less than full. So I keep hitting balls after balls to see where the ball drops, like what distance I'm dropping it at. Then with the same thing, I'll change my grip position. I'll hold it a little shorter with the same rhythm that comes to my mind, and then see what's the difference like. Probably shut the club face a little, open the club face a little, you know, just like play it a little like that. Probably hit a full swing, but hold the club shorter. So that's how I get my numbers. So it's what I know people also do it with the clock dial system, where, you know, go like 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. That's something that I could never do. I tried it out, but this thing is just purely feel based.
So you have your checkpoints, your guidelines, and then work around that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Just curious.
Right. We have a few more questions. I think we still have a bit of time, so let's keep going. Okay, so there's a question from Avni Prashant, and there are a few questions of similar nature. So I'll phrase all of them in the same way, so that all three we can have your take on it. Right. So it's about turning professional. All three of you have been professional golfers for a few years now. So let's say the question is in 2 or 3 ways. First is, When you decide it's time to turn professional, as far as your game preparedness, what is the biggest challenge you faced in the transition from amateur to professional golf? And what would you advise youngsters uh, who are looking to turn pro one day?
Who's going?
Okay, Vani, go ahead.
Okay. So I think the transition for me was pretty easy because I had to wait till I was 18, and I always knew that I wanted to turn professional. And also I was #1 amateur before I turned professional, so it wasn't that difficult for me. Coming to the first part of the question, where like, how do you know it is the right time for you to turn professional? So I think it just depends on the numbers that you're shooting, how you're feeling, how you're mentally prepared, whether you think you can take on that kind of a pressure or not, because professional golf is extremely different from amateur golf. And one advice that I would like to give everyone out there, all the juniors, I would just say that, concentrate on yourself. Don't look at others who's turning pro when. I think everyone has a uniqueness about them. Everyone's journey is different. Some people will get their success or sooner, some people get it later, but everyone's going to get what they deserve. And one point that I would like to add is always measure your success in terms of yourself. Don't measure it in terms of others, because the minute you compare yourself to someone else, you're already like a notch below, most probably. So I would just say, when it comes from your heart, when you feel it is the time, that is the time. It doesn't matter what people are saying around you. The whole world can say, it's time for you to turn professional. You're playing really well, but what if you're not mentally prepared? So just ask yourself that question. And if your answer is yes, nothing should stop you from turning professional.
Incy, what's your take on this?
Well, I've always dreamt of being a professional golfer. So when I went to tour school, I went in as an amateur, and I said, if I finish high enough to earn my full European tour status, I'll turn pro. I guess that is a literal representation of me turning professional. So I think I finished 14th or something, and it was high enough to qualify. So I turned pro that way. But I think on reflection, well, before I was a professional, you can look at it from the outsider's view and say, golfer's life's so amazing. You get to travel to all these places, you get to eat all this food, meet all these people, and maybe a few celebrities and proms. It's very glitz and glamour sometimes, staying in nice hotels. But I think you've got to understand it's not always like that. It is 100% a journey of up and downs. And initially, I didn't react too well when I, maybe missed a cut twice in a row or something, or lost in a playoff. I think you've got to understand that it is a journey. And I think if you can have any sort of support around you or behind you, that's really helpful as well, because it allows you to focus on the game. It allows you to focus on competing rather than I'm playing to make a living. So that's something that I initially struggled with, but now I'm starting to manage that, and I'm so lucky that I got people to help me out as well, so I can just focus on playing.
That's awesome. Gorika, what's your take on this?
So, like Vani, I didn't have much choice because 18 was the age to turn professional here. But I think a good way to know if you're ready for it is firstly, how do you handle tournament pressure? Are you able to handle the pressure so well that you can take on the professional pressure? Because of course, it's much more than amateur or junior, firstly. Secondly, what is your scoring average? Always check your scoring average with the tour that you're aiming for. I understand that sometimes we might feel that we are ready, or our parents might say, or our friends might say, of course they want what's the best for us. But your scoring average is extremely important. You want to be a successful professional golfer. You don't want to be just there. You just don't want to be a professional golfer. You want to be up there on the order of merit. And I'm sure that's the aim for everyone, all the girls who are listening right now. So your scoring average, like I said, is extremely important. And other than that, the most important factor is you will know when you're ready. Your gut feeling will tell you that, okay, now I'm ready to take this big step. So just wait for that gut feeling. Don't give in to any kind of pressure. Don't think that, oh, that particular girl turned pro and I played better than her, so maybe I should also turn pro. please do not compare yourself to anyone else. You all are unique in your own ways. You all have amazing talents. I've met all of you. I've seen all of you in the clinics in the Indian Open. And just believe in yourself, and you will know when the time is right. Please don't compare yourself to anyone. Oftentimes, so many people ask me the question that, people are winning at such a young age. LET has the youngest winner at 14, and Aditi has been playing for so long. And just so many instances where we might get intimidated and think, wow, they're doing so well at such an early age. What am I doing? Don't give in to that kind of pressure. You all are amazing. You all have the potential to be top professional golfers, and I know that for a fact. I have full faith in you guys. Just have faith in yourselves, and your gut feeling will tell you when it's the right time to turn pro.
And one more round of that question, Vani, what's the biggest challenge you faced in the transition?
If I could change the question a little bit, because I didn't really have any challenges from when I turned amateur to professional, but when I played on LET as compared to playing on WGI, one of the biggest challenge that I faced was I wasn't hitting it that long that time, and also the weather conditions played a major role. I kind of got intimidated by it because we don't have that kind of winds in India. So that was one of my biggest challenges, I would say.
On to the UK.
Incy, you go ahead, and then Gaurika.
What's that, sorry?
Incy, go ahead. What was in the transition, what did you find and what did you have to overcome?
Like I touched on earlier, I think it was the journey, the ups and downs. Well, first of all, you always have such expectations of yourself, and you have that self-belief of your ability as well. So as soon as you don't get the result you wanted, or someone you thought you were better than beat you or something, initially I didn't react very well to that, internally anyway, which affected the way I practiced and the way I scored on the golf course. So, I mean, you girls have touched up on it quite a few times, just not comparing yourself to others as well, because it's so easy to expose yourself to scores and maybe ball striking, or she's an amazing putter, and compare yourself. I'm not as good as her, or I'm not as quick as her. I don't hit it as far as her. That doesn't matter. Everyone has their own strengths. Everyone has their own weaknesses, and that's the most exciting part. If you've got your strength, that's amazing. Work on your weaknesses, get it better, be motivated by it, use it as your fuel to improve that way. So I just think the comparison thing, I'm still so guilty of sometimes comparing myself. I remember when Lydia Ko was world number one, she was a year older than me or something. She was world number one for a consecutive year. So I asked myself, what am I doing? I'm rubbish. But no, forget that. Stop comparing yourself and get on with it.
Yeah, Gaurika?
I think the biggest challenge is that as a junior, you might be the best, but personally, but once I turned professional, I felt that, okay, wait, there are people better than me. So there were people who would drive much longer than me, who would be much stronger than what I was. So that was one challenge. But then again, I was mentally ready for everything because it was absolutely my decision. I knew what I was getting into. I know professional golf can be really hard, but what made the journey easier was that it was a personal decision, not a pressure. So I was absolutely ready for every challenge, and I just took everything in a very positive sense. If someone was stronger than me, I worked hard and I became stronger. If someone was hitting longer, I tried to add more speed and power and hit longer. So you gotta just become stronger with the challenges. Don't let them set you down.
Yeah, thanks guys. That's really good to hear and all your experiences. Before I have one final question, just requesting Vani and then Incy and then Gaurika, do you want to share your Insta handles once again for the juniors if they want to make a note? And of course, what we'll do from here, we'll also send them an email, where they can look at your the drills that you post on your Insta accounts or the videos and all that to stay connected with that side of your games will be useful for them. And we'll also email them. But Vani, where can we find you on social media?
So on Instagram, my handle is Vani_VK Golf. So it's VANI_VK Golf. And yeah, just feel free to message me, and I would love to help you guys all of you, any way I can.
Awesome. Insi, you're on Insi Golf.
Yep, Insi Golf on Instagram, Twitter, same as Vani, just happy to help where I can. So feel free to reach out, send me, your swing videos, and yeah, happy to help where I can.
And Gorika?
My Insta handle is funny. Okay. So my Insta handle's name is The Real Star Player. The Real REAL Star Player. And I don't know, maybe it's time to get a little more mature handle, but I just love the fact that I'm known as The Real Star Player now anyway because of my Instagram handle. So yeah, well, that's the name of my handle, and feel free to message me anytime. I'll be happy to share more drills with you. I would love to help you through your process, whatever help you want, whatever advice you want. I'm always here for you guys. So you can absolutely slide into my DMs.
Because the Real Star Player is good as long as you really believe in it.
Yes, absolutely. I do. That's why I haven't changed it. Like I'm 22 and I still have that username.
Okay, great. I have one final question. And Eva, I think I'm going to address this to you. It's from Ketiki Sood, and also we got it on email earlier from Meher Najir from Chandigarh. I'm going to divide this in two parts. One is Eva mentioned that she went to Oklahoma University. Did you play collegiate golf? If yes, what was it like and how did it help you? And the same question in another way is, which country is the best for college golf and how to go for golf scholarship? I'm just going to unmute you for give me a second. Yeah.
Hi everyone, and thank you so much for great sessions. So yes, I had a 5-year scholarship at Oklahoma State University. This was a very long time ago. It was different then. We did not have internet. We could not contact people the way people contact now. You cannot do your own research. So it was a bit complicated then. I learned a lot. And what I learned the most was to just understanding that there are different cultures, learning that people are different, and just seeing all the joy in that, and working in a team together towards the same goal, but also your individual goal. And it's a great setup that you're able to get. I had a business degree from Oklahoma State University, and at the same time, you develop your golf a lot. So I have only good things to say, and I have some great memories from the time over there. So yes, just the whole learning experience by meeting the different people and the cultures and the different. Also see that there are girls from all over coming to college to play golf. I mean, it was great. What was the second question? How do you come about, or how do you?
Yes, what country is the best for college golf and how to go about for golf scholarship?
Okay, so the best, I would say the best country, because there's really only is one, is the United States, because they have such a big backup from the NCAA and from the university. So they are more or less the only country that is possible to set up that type of competitive golf. There are also different options. Maybe in India, I don't know, but in Sweden there are options. Maybe in England there are options, but it's not. You don't compete as much against the other universities. And like all the three girls said today, it's very good to stay competitive and also keep playing tournaments. So I would say the United States. Every case is different, but I know in Sweden, the first thing you would do, it would be you will contact, if you don't have your own network that you normally receive at golf tournaments when you're an amateur, I would give the advice to contact the Women's Golf Association of India, because I'm sure they have a great network of people going there or coaches that are there right now. So that would be my first step. And then just listening to what people are saying, or just pay attention a lot and ask the girls. There are a lot of Indian girls that have been in America. Ashta and Trisa, I think, have been to India. So I mean to United States. So ask them questions. But I'm sure Shampika can help you with advice and with her network.
Thank you, Eva. Actually, this question was also addressed to Neha Tripathi, but Neha is right. Neha didn't go to college. She's writing in. Neha, are you still on? I can bring you on if you can put on your video. Okay, never mind. Neha's writing back to say, Ketki, that she didn't go to college, but it's something that a person should experience, teaches you to be self-dependent and a lot of other qualities. So that's her reply to your question. Okay, so I think that's all the questions we've got. One from Zara. Which college in Europe is the best for golf to go to? Eva, you have any, not a college, but maybe, I would say that there'll be plenty of colleges, I guess, but what region?
I can't answer that question really. I know there are some great two places, or one place here in Sweden, not far from me in the southern Sweden, where they combine academics and sports science. It's very different. They have something in Spain, also in England, like I said. I don't know how it is in India, but this is where I can't give you a good advice on that. So I have to say pass.
That's all right. Thanks, Eva. That's good.
Yeah.
I believe that's all the time we have for all the questions, but we have a couple of more things before we wind up today's session. We reached out to Anika Verma, who is now playing in the US on the Cactus Tour. She finished 5th in the Hero Women's Indian Open, the top ranked player from India at the HWIO last year. And we have a recorded message from her, which I'd like to play for all of you. So give me a moment and I will put that up for you. And yeah. Okay. Oh, I wonder, just give me a moment. Okay, I think we have Anika on now. Yeah, okay, I'm going to play this for you.
These are hard and stressful times for everyone, especially athletes, and I'm grateful to be able to play in the Cactus Tour event in Arizona. I was only 6 years old when I started to golf. I used to go to the golf course with my father and my sister, and I absolutely fell in love with the game. I slowly and gradually improved my golfing skills, and I played the IG events in India. I was given the honor to represent the country in international tournaments, and I made a lot of fun memories with my teammates and my golfing buddies. My greatest golfing accomplishment is finishing 5th in the Hero Indian Open in 2019, and I absolutely loved the experience and I remember it vividly. I moved to USA last summer and it was a hard and tough move, but I was able to cope up with it by planning and building a routine and spending time golfing as well as spending time studying and balancing the both of them. My message to young golfers is always look at your accomplishments and be happy about the small, minor accomplishments you make. And sometimes just trust the process, have patience, and believe in yourself. Nothing is impossible if you put your mind to it. And stay safe, be happy. I believe in you.
All right, so that was a message from Anika. And well, a couple more things before, like I said, before we wind up. First, the results of the quiz. We sent you a quiz of 18 questions, and we'll send you the answers on email. but we have some prizes sponsored by Callaway. So the top 3 who got the most answers right, we've got in 3rd place, Sirat Khanijao, you've got 14 answers out of 18, correct. Chahat Khanijao, you got 15, you are runner-up. And Sanvi, you got 16 out of 18, right? And you are the winner. So Sanvi, you get a dozen golf balls from Callaway, and Chahat and Sirat, you both have a headwear, a cap from Callaway coming to you soon. Thank you for taking the quiz, and hope you learned a little bit about the LET, the WGI, the Hero Women's Indian Open, and of course, about the players. Okay, what I'm going to request you all to do is, can you all please put on your videos? Because we're going to make a nice screenshot of the screen in front of me, and we're going to use that in all the releases that we send out tomorrow. So just put on your videos for me, please. Yeah. While you put on the videos, I just want to say that if we have not been able to take your question that you put in, we're sorry. We tried to take in as many questions as we could, but please stay connected, and you know, the players and us will be happy to answer them for you. Okay, Masha, if you are Janvi Bakshi, please put on your video if you can, so that we can take a screenshot. All right, there you go. Masha, if you're ready, can you take a screenshot and just let me know when you've done that? There are 2 screens, so let's take a screenshot of both the screens. Gorika, give me a thumbs up when, because she's, yeah.
Almost. No, sorry.
Okay, okay, we'll wait.
Okay, done. We're done here.
All right, great.
Yeah.
Closing few remarks from Ms. Champika Syal. Ma'am, I'm just going to put you back on.
Hi all, I think that was just an amazing session. I cannot believe that we were able to put this, and Karan, a big congratulations to you. I must thank the LET, Eva, INSEE. I've really enjoyed this session. I've come out a much wiser person today. I'm very grateful to the audience, and I really hope that all of you have benefited, the youngsters have benefited from this webisode. Like Karan said, the young kids who couldn't get their questions answered, we promise that we'll bring you on the next webisode. In the meantime, may I just say a big thank you to LET, KNA and his team, Masha, Insi Mehmet, Vani Kapoor, and my colleague Vivek Sharma, Anika for sending her message, and to Callaway, who suddenly gave us a lovely surprise today. It's been a very fruitful evening, and I must say that one of the most important things is that our own Indian players have been able to identify with our Indian professionals in a very nice manner. So all of us who put this together, we look forward to seeing you again. And thank you very much, Karan. That was a marvelous show. And thank you, Eva. All of you have a safe time and hope to see you soon. Thank you, Insi. Thank you, Vani and Gorika. Thank you, all the young participants. Thank you very much. Good night and have a nice dinner now.
Thank you, ma'am. Thanks to all the juniors for being on. We'll come, with that, we come to the end of the program. Hope to see you all soon again. I'm going to request if the juniors would drop off the Zoom call, and I'd request if the officials and the players can stay on for a few minutes. We'll have a closing few remarks amongst us.